restaurant, coffee shop come from?
So mostly from Kaitlyn. She saw the building and wanted to be able to start a family coffee shop restaurant, and I've been in coffee for about 7-8 years. So we thought that she would be great at making pastries, I'd be good at making coffee, and got this building to renovate it to be historic. Yeah.
It takes a lot of work. How long is it taking to get this building in shape?
It's been a whirlwind. It's been about 3.
It's been over 3. But yes.
Yeah, 3
years.
Bought it and then weren't allowed to mess with it until it could be on the historic registration. Everything works out for us to be approved to actually renovate it. And that alone took about a year, and now we are renovating our own. It's our family who's renovating it. So it's taking a little bit longer, but it's mostly because we want to make sure that we have hands in everything that is done here, including putting down this floor or building our bar.
Yeah,
anything.
Everything's been like lovingly restored back to what, so it can stand another 100 years, hopefully, because it's been an investment.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, tell me about the history of this building.
Yeah. So whenever they first built it, it was back in we've found on the tax map, it's been about 1905. People have told us probably built around 1915. But it used to be a drugstore and a soda shop. So the soda bar was like right here, and everything was drugstore, but upstairs was a doctor's office. And then after that, the upstairs became a Masonic lodge. Down here became, it's been a lot of things. Mostly recently, it was a hair salon. It was Scott's barbershop, and then a photography studio.
It's been a lot of, I think, a staple in a lot of people's like day-to-day life here.
Yeah.
So I think they're excited. The town of Pelzer, we were excited to be involved with the town of Pelzer because of Will Ragland, because of the mayor and what he's been doing to like bring the theater back to life and trying to invest in the arts here. And we really want to make a family business that will be something the community gets to like come together and enjoy.
Yeah.
What made you want to invest in this building particularly?
The historic relevance, for sure. Like our entire life, we grew up in this area, so we drove back and forth. We saw it. It in Betty Boops. You know, it was definitely where we would recognize in our minds, and I don't know. It just seemed like it was so important to try and keep the historic relevance of it, keep the building alive, and not change it too much.
Yeah.
So you're all from this area?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So you've seen this building your whole lifetime?
Yeah.
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 Do you remember anything being in here? Or has it always been just sort of shut down?
I mean, I remember whenever it was a barbershop at one point, but I was really little.
Yeah.
Our mother remembers it more because she is from this area too.
Yeah.
Grew up here, so she remembers coming in here whenever it used to be Frierson's soda shop.
And we've heard a lot of memories of that, of people talking about getting moon pies and cherry coke. And so I think it'll be cool for people to come and sit here again and get food and drink.
Yeah.
You mentioned that. What other kind of feedback are you getting from this community that's seeing this building come back to life and knowing what's going to be here?
I mean, they seem very excited. Yeah, I think they really want something, especially because it's just to go anywhere around here. I mean, there is Cotton Duck, which is great, and but I think it's nice for Pelzer to have something, and especially since we're going to also have food along with coffee. I think they're very excited to have actual a restaurant. Yeah.
Can you tell me about those plans? The next stage. What are you going to do?
Yeah. You want to go?
Yeah, initially we had just sort of planned on opening a coffee shop and like a bakery, and then we realized that we could expand it into something more, especially as our renovation took a little longer. So now we are going to be prepared to have some cafe-style food, sandwiches and soups, and breakfast foods. So it'll be serving the entire time we're open.
Yeah.
Which would be great.
Yeah.
And you said there's an upstairs. You have plans for it too, right?
Yeah.
What are the plans for the upstairs?
It'll be an overflow space while we're open during the day, but we definitely will have it open for events. We've already had a few weddings booked. It's a really gorgeous spot, and I think people really enjoy the history of it too, the fact that it was a Masonic lodge, and those sorts of memories we've also heard from people in the community going and like waiting on their dad while they go to their meeting.
Yeah.
And so I think it'll be very cool to have a wedding, or
Baby shower.
Yeah, and we've already hosted that. So.
Yeah.
It's a really beautiful space. I mean, like the pieces that were able to be saved from 100 years ago, and in this building has been just like really astounding to find, like the ceiling still maintained, and hopefully we'll be able to just like really appreciate the beauty altogether.
I understand you're also able to get some salvage, some historic stuff from other places. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So the floors here are from the
Piedmont.
Piedmont.
YWCA.
Yes.
Yeah.
We went in and took them up ourselves to make sure that they weren't damaged, and then me and my dad planed every single one of them, cleaned out the tongue and groove, and then laid them back down. So these floors are about 100 years old. They're not the original because the original had tar poured on top of them, so we could not salvage them. But we wanted to keep something that was still close to home and from the time period.
And we're lucky enough to be, I mean, with the Historic Registry, we have someone who is working with us, and he was the one who was like, there's this other building that will have the flooring you need, and it's also a historic building. And so it's been really interesting to see, the other places that are in this area that are being restored or being maintained for its historic relevance too.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a family affair. Your whole family's been helping work on it?
Yeah, our parents did just residential home building our entire lives, so we grew up seeing construction done, and we.
Not people who your parents are.
Calle and Kaitlyn Walters.
Yeah.
And our mom is from this area. She grew up here with her whole family, and they're all. Our whole family likes to work with their hands.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was definitely it's been an undertaking. We've learned a lot. It's totally different from building a house in some ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're at the finish line. We're going to be hopefully opening soon.
Yeah.
And the community can come in and get to appreciate it with us.
Yeah, hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But also on top of our family renovating everything, once we're open, it's mostly going to be me, my sister, and my cousins working here.
Yes.
Yeah, so even whenever we're open, we're going to be mostly family.
Yeah, we only have one person right now planned who is not in our family who's going to be working here.
Yeah.
Do you have a timetable on when you want to open and then when you want to start serving food? And do you know what your timetable is now?
Yeah, so right now it's just the parking lot. We have to get gravel, which hopefully will be next week. And then once we're approved for that, then we should be open, hopefully before the end of the month is up. And food will be starting smaller. It'll be on the weekends, and then slowly build back up to every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully by the spring we'll be serving food like every day.
Yeah.
That we're open. Is the plan.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of calls and inquiries about when you're going to be open and when they can come by.
Yeah.
It's definitely, there's always people who want to know. I think that's the first thing people ask me now.
I want to be able to serve everyone who asks too. So whenever people randomly walk in, I'm like, yeah, let me just make you a cup of coffee since you're here already.
Yeah.
I really want to be able to do that for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our family had our Thanksgiving here, the Thanksgiving dinner, so it was like full of people, and a couple just like walked in thinking that we were open.
Yeah.
And so she just like she was already making everyone else coffee, so she just made them coffee.
Yeah. I was like, why not? Here, here's a free cup. A trial run.
Yeah.
Hopefully they loved it. Yeah.
Where can people find out more about what you're doing and to know when you're going to open and that kind of thing?
Yeah, we have a website that will definitely update once we're open, and then hours will definitely be put up on Google Maps or Google.
Yeah.
And then we have an Instagram. Our website is cryptidcoffee.co. We will definitely update it whenever we are open, have all our hours on there. And then you can find us on Instagram or just Google. We'll have our hours up as soon as we're open. Yeah.
A lot of people do have questions about what Cryptid Coffee means, and it was kind of a joke, but we honestly loved the idea that we were throwing ideas around, and we were like, oh, but what about if Bigfoot was like drinking a cup of coffee? And you know, growing up in Appalachia, you kind of hear a bunch of like stories, and you get to live a little closer to folklore. So it's just a lot of fun to kind of have this idea of mystical monsters and just enjoying a cup of joe.
Yeah. It's cute.
Yeah. But a lot of people are very what is a cryptid?
Like, it's just cute.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Growing up here, did you ever think one day we're going to own that building and put a coffee shop and restaurant in it?
No.
No?
Not for me.
I've always had a love of old buildings, and I definitely have always wanted to have my own business. And I think it's part of being in our family where everybody has been worked for themselves. And I mean, of course, you're really serving the whole community, but they've owned their own businesses. So
Yeah.
we're really excited to just be a part of that, and hopefully this will be a bit of our legacy where it'll be a staple and it'll stand the test of time. We'll be able to be here for a while.
Tell me a little bit about the coffee you're going to have here. What kind of coffee would be? I see some big gear back there.
Yeah, so we will be doing a multi-roastery, which means I'm not going to be sticking with one coffee. Right now we're going to be serving Junto, and then also Little Waves in Durham and Rowan Coffee in Asheville. But I'll always be putting on new coffees, some that'll be a little more experimental, but then also, of course, got your good dark roast coffee for anybody who wants just a traditional cup. And then for regular coffee, it's just going to be all the staples: lattes, cappuccino, iced lattes. We'll have flavors for sure because I love a sweet drink.
Yeah.
But then if you want a good black coffee, we'll have that too.
Can't wait to see them.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely open to being a multifunctional space for the community. So
Yeah.
the type of events can definitely be more traditional, like a wedding or baby shower or something, or it could be just like if you want to have a book club here. Like, we're definitely wanting to be a gathering spot for people where it's a lot of space.
Yeah.
And we just love the idea of community kind of being built up and having a place to be.
Yeah.